This is the brain, and the parts to it are the cerebrum, which controls higher brain functions, the central sulcus, which connects the frontal lobe and parietal lobe. The next part is the convolution gyri, which helps increase the surface area of the cerebral cortex and forms brain divisions. The next part is the sulci, which makes up the folded surface of the cerebral cortex. The next is longitudinal fissure, which separates the brain into two hemispheres, left and right.
Gray matter is on the outer part of the brain, and white matter is in the inside part of the brain. This is the corpus callosum, which is this piece right here, and the chora plexa is the organ that produces the fluid under the white matter. Here we have the pituitary gland, which tells glands how to regulate hormones, and it goes here. Hypothalamus, here in this area, it regulates the appetite, body weight, and body temperature. This is the mammary gland, and it is responsible for recollective memory. Here is the optic plasma, and it is responsible for transmitting visual information to and from the optic nerve. This is the arbor vitae, and it is responsible for bringing sensory and motor information to and from the cerebellum. The midbrain here is responsible for vision and motor control. Here we have the middle of the brain, also known as pons, which is center of the brain. Medulla oblongata regulates the cardiovascular and respiratory system. The frontal lobe is part of the brain that controls important cognitive skills in humans. The parental lobe is part of the lobe that is vital for sensory perception. The occipital lobe is responsible for processing vision. And here we have the temporal lobe. The temporal lobe is responsible for processing auditory information.
We have two gyruses. We have the precentral gyrus that is important for the motor neurons, and then we have the postcentral gyrus, which is for the sensory neurons. We got the cerebellum that maintains balance, and then we got the insula that then regulates the immune system.
You have four ventricles in the inner part of your brain. You have the lateral ventricle, first lateral ventricle, and second lateral ventricle. You have the third ventricle and fourth ventricle.